Israel's F-35I, a deer just obliterated around 500 Iranian targets in a single massive operation. This proves stealth fighters now dictate who controls the skies over the Middle East. Iran's missile barrages have hammered Israel for years, from the 200 drones and missiles in April 2024 to the 180-plus ballistic strikes in October 2024. Those attacks targeted bases like Nevatim, home to Israel's F-35 during fleet, but Israel's multi-layered defenses, Arrow, David's Sling, Iron Dome, intercepted most, with F-35 is even helping track incoming threats. Iran's S-300 systems and layered radars promise to shield their nuclear sites, missile factories, and command centers, but they kept failing against Israel's reach. The stakes? Iran inches toward nukes at Natanz and Fordo, while arming proxies like Hezbollah with precision-guided missiles that could overwhelm Israeli cities. By early 2026, intelligence showed Iran prepping massive launches from Western sites, Ahmad and Fata missiles aimed at Tel Aviv. Current jets like F-15s could hit back, but penetrating 1,000 miles of hostile airspace undetected, that's where solutions fell short, risking high losses against evolving threats. Can Israel's F-35I deer truly dominate Iran's air defenses in a full-scale war? Or is this just a one-off win? Now, the players. Israel fields about 75 F-35I deers, customized with Elbit Systems integration, Rafael spice bombs, and homegrown EW pods for jamming S-300s from standoff range. These birds fly 1,000-plus miles with conformal tanks, fusing data from satellites and drones into a god's-eye view. Iran counters with Russian S-300 PMU-2s, 4 batteries guard Tehran, Bavar 373 clones, and thousands of ballistic missiles. But their radars struggle with stealth profiles, and pilots fly outdated MiG-29s or F-14 with poor training. But here's where it gets interesting. In late February 2026, as part of Operation Epic Fury with US support, Israel launched its largest air op ever, 200 fighters, including F-35Is, slamming 500 targets like missile launchers and radars in western/central Iran. No Israeli losses reported. This changed everything. What happened next shocked even Pentagon planners. Before we go deeper, comment whether Iran's S-300s could ever lock an F-35I, or is stealth unbeatable. The F-35I deer doesn't just sneak in, it owns the night from the start. Picture 50-plus deers piercing Iranian airspace at low level, near their radar cross-section tinier than a golf ball, thanks to radar-absorbent coatings and S-shaped intakes. Israeli mods add the Elbit display and sight helmet, letting pilots look and shoot while fusing 360-degree sensor data from AN/APG-81 radar and electro-optical targeting system. Why it matters? Against Iran's integrated air defenses, deers suppress enemy air defenses, SEAD first. In the op, they jammed S-300 radars over 100 miles out, using podded EW to mimic decoys or overload frequencies, blinding Tehran's Guardians before F-15Is and F-16s follow with heavy ordnance. One strike package hit 4 S-300 batteries near Natanz, clearing paths for deeper runs. That's strategic impact. Iran's missile chain, from production to launch, gets severed without risking tankers or AWACS. Proof? On past ops, like June 2025's Operation Rising Lion saw deers lead 200 jets against nuclear sites, dropping precision munitions undetected over 1,000 miles. No losses, despite Iranian claims of downings debunked as fakes. In this 2026 wave, deers YD'd and struck 100-plus radar/missile sites solo, per IDF statements, part of the 500 total. While deers opened doors, they didn't carry the full load. Drones and standoff weapons mopped up. Still, without them, the op fails. Once skies clear, deers turn hunter-killers. loaded with 18,000 pounds of Spice 1000 glide bombs, GPS/EO guided 60-mile range, they snipe from beyond SAM reach. In the 24-hour frenzy of epic fury, F-35 is coordinated with wingmen to drop hundreds of munitions on 200 plus of those 500 targets. EMAD launchers in western Iran, IRGC depots. This even Quds Force aircraft prepping Hezbollah runs. Strategic edge, Spice bombs loiter, shift targets mid-flight, perfect for Iran's mobile TELs that scatter like roaches. One Adir salvo crippled 40 missile components in hours, distances like New York to DC. Iran's countermeasures, low-altitude flight, decoys, flopped. Adir's distributed aperture system spots heat signatures through clouds, feeding kills to AIM-120ODAMRAAMs if jets scramble. Real-world proof? In March 2026 follow-ups, an Aider notched history's first manned air-to-air kill, downing a Yk-130 over Tehran with an AMRAAM, while strikes hit 20-plus missile sites in Isfahan. No battle damage on the Israeli side, unlike Iran's claims of F-35 Rex proven AI fakes. This isn't hype, it's data fusion overwhelming foes. Adir's networked the fleet, turning 200 jets into one swarm. This is where Iran made a critical mistake. In relying on 1980s tech against 5th-gen fusion, Adirs don't just strike, they predict. Adir's rampage exposes the F-35's edge over rivals. China's J-20 boasts stealth too, but lacks the Adir's EW maturity or helmet cueing. J-20 pilots stare at screens while Israelis see through fuselages. Russia's Su-57? Fewer than 20 operational, no combat proving against S-300s like Adir has. Impacts ripple. Iran's proxy net. Hezbollah, Houthis, loses missile resupply, buying Israel time to smash Gaza tunnels or Lebanon bunkers. Globally, it validates stealth supremacy. US exports more F-35s, while Russia/China rush upgrades. Trade-off? Adir costs $100 million each. Price of dominance when one sortie equals 10 older jets. Proof in the pudding. Epic Fury's 500 targets gutted Iran's launch capacity by 30% to 50%, per analysts, without US. Of losses beyond support roles. Iranian pilots died scrambling. 18 jets downed in prior Syria clashes show the pattern. But there's one flaw nobody's talking about. Sustainment. Israel's F-35 Adir just obliterated around 500 Iranian targets in a single massive operation without a single loss. This wasn't simulation, it was real combat dominance that shifted the Middle East balance overnight. In this video, you'll see exactly how the Adir's stealth and tech outfoxed Iran's best defenses, why it crushed Russian S-300s, and what it means for future air wars. Iran's missile barrages had pushed Israel to the brink, hundreds of ballistic missiles raining down, proxies like Hezbollah firing non-stop, nuclear sites humming closer to breakout. Standard jets like F-15S and F-16S could hit back, but Iran's layered defenses, S-300s from Russia, your radars everywhere, low-altitude traps, made deep strikes a suicide run. Lose air superiority, and Tel Aviv falls. That's the stake. A regional power armed with nukes and hypersonics just 1,000 miles away. The central question, can Israel's F-35 Adir penetrate and dismantle Iran's air defenses to deliver overwhelming strikes undetected? Enter the players. Israel fields the F-35 Adir, their custom Mighty 1, 75 airframes upgraded with homegrown electronic warfare pods, long-range fuel tanks for 1,000-plus mile missions, and integration for Python 5 missiles and Spice bombs. Iran counters with S-300 PMU, 2 batteries, 4 active sites guarding Tehran and nukes, Buvar 373 knockoffs, and a fleet of aging MiG-29s, Su-24s, plus newer Su-35s, about 300 combat jets total, but mostly pre-1990s relics. This pits 5th-gen stealth against Soviet-era shields. Israel modified the Aider for exactly this, jamming Iranian radars while feeding real-time data to F-15I escorts. Globally, it tests if stealth wins peer fights. Watch China and Russia take notes. But here's where it gets interesting. In late February 2026, during Operation Epic Fury, 200 Israeli jets, including dozens of Adirs, launched the biggest IIF op ever, dropping hundreds of munitions on roughly 500 targets in western and central Iran. What happened next shocked even Pentagon planners. Adirs sliced through Iran's radar net like ghosts. First in, last out. These jets don't just hide. Their radar cross-section shrinks to 0.001 square meters, smaller than a golf ball, thanks to diverterless inlets and Israeli tweaks. Why it dominates? Iran's S-300 spot big targets at 150 kilometers, but Adirs jammed them at standoff range using Elbit pods that overload frequencies. Think frying a TV while staying invisible. In Epic Fury's opening wave, F-35's mapped emissions tagged 4 S-300 batteries near Tehran and Natanz, then lit them up with standoff spice munitions from 100-plus miles. Proof: no Adir losses across 1,400-plus prior sorties in 2025's Operation Rising Lion, where they prepped paths for 3,700 bombs on 2,800 targets. So, same playbook here. IDF confirmed SEAD cleared skies for follow-ons, crippling missile production from Isfahan to Shiraz. One Adir even notched history's first manned F-35 air-to-air kill, downing a Yak-130 over Tehran with an AIM-120D. No visual range needed. With defenses blinded, Adirs coordinated the hammer. 500 targets hammered in hours, from missile launchers to IRGC bunkers. Each carries 18,000 pounds of smart bombs, but Adirs excel at lasing for others while striking high-value points. Strategic punch. Unlike Iran's inaccurate Fateh 110s, CEP 100 meters plus, Spice 250s hit within 3 meters, turning underground silos into craters. In 24-hour bursts of epic fury, they gutted 500 sites, launchers, storage, radars, worth billions, per IDF tallies, slashing Tehran's retaliatory stock by 30% to 50%. Proof point: the June 2025's 12-day war saw Adirs drop 20% of 3,709 bombs without battle damage. Epic Fury scaled it, with 200 jets, dozens F-35Is, overwhelming in waves. Iranian media admitted S-300 losses, their invincible shield cracked. This is where Iran made a critical mistake, scrambling jets too late, feeding them to BVR missiles. Adir isn't stock F-35. Israel's upgrades make it unbeatable regionally. TR-3 avionics fuse 360-degree sensors into one God's eye view. Pilots see through mountains via data links. Why unbeatable? Range hits 1,200 nautical miles with drop tanks. Tehran round trip no sweat. Faster than Su-35s at Mach 1.6 cruise. Cost per sortie? $44,000 versus Iran's $100,000+ per S-300 shot wasted on ghosts. Combat validation: 0 losses in Syria 2025, 18 Iranian jets downed. 0 in 12-day Iran war. Use 0 here despite 500+ targets. 1 damaged in prior scraps. But RTB'd safely. Pilots train 200+ hours yearly versus Iran's 100. Adir downed that Yak-130 at 50+ miles, proving stealth dogfighting, sensors lock before radars ping back. Iran's countermeasures? Low-altitude flights, decoys, smart. But Adir's AESA radar burns through. One flaw: sustainment in prolonged war, but Israel's 75 Adirs cover it. This op redefines air power. Stealth plus allies, US F-35s joined. Overwhelm numbers. Iran's proxy net crumbled. Hezbollah launchers next on Adir lists implications. Tehran can't threaten Israel unchecked now. Nukes delayed years. Russia loses face. S-300s proven beatable. US validates F-35 export bans? No, it screams demand. Proof in numbers, 500 targets match IDF claims for Epic Fury's peak day, part of 6,500 plus bombs total, more than 2025 war. But Iran's hypersonics like Fatah loom. Adir adapts with hypersonic intercept mods. Can the F-35I Adir penetrate and dismantle Iran's defenses for overwhelming strikes? Yes, Epic Fury proved it, gutting 500 targets undetected, downing jets, 0 losses. Remember, Stealth Seed opens floodgates, Adir blinds before bombs fall. Sensor fusion turns solo jets into wolf packs, outpacing any counter. Custom upgrades give it an edge over vanilla F-35s, setting Israel ahead in the arms race. By 2030, Block 4 Adir's pack directed energy weapons. Iran's rebuilding S-400s from Russia tests them anew. Watch Pacific J-20s study this footage. So, can Adir dominate Iran's skies? Absolutely. It has the kills, the tech, the pilots. In your war game, does China steal this blueprint first? Drop your comments.